Hello and welcome to Lunchtime News with me, Madhushka Balasuriya. And let's quickly take a look at your headlines. Chairman of the Walala Pradesh Sabha granted bail by Colombo Chief Magistrate. The number of HIV cases in the island increases during the first 6 months of the year. Amateur video from Syria released yesterday purports to show a suicide attack at the airport near Aleppo. And now let's take a look at those stories in more detail. Chairman of the Walala Pradesh Sabha, Udeni Priyanga Atukorala, was granted bail by Colombo Chief Magistrate Giham Pilapitiya today. He was granted a cash bail of 50,000 rupees and 2 certified bails of 2.5 million rupees each.
The chairman of the Walala Pradesh Sabha was taken into custody by the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption on charges of soliciting a bribe from the chairman of the Bentota Pradesh Sabha to transport sand through the Bentota Pradesh Sabha. The Colombo Chief Magistrate ordered the suspect chairman to refrain from travelling overseas, and if he is found to have exerted pressure on witnesses, bail will be dismissed.
7 individuals were injured in a motor accident that took place this morning in Pante area on the Kalutara Mathugama main road. The accident took place when a bus collided with a van.
The police say that the accident took place at around 7 this morning. A bus travelling from Mathugama to Colombo collided with a van, and the van had then collided with a bus. 5 out of 7 injured were admitted to the Mathugama District Hospital, while 2 others were admitted to the Nagoda Hospital. The police further say that the injured are not in critical condition.
HIV cases in the island have increased during the first 6 months of the year. Director of the Sexually Transmitted Diseases AIDS Control Program, Dr. Sirasa Liyanage, says the number of HIV patients reported in this time period stands at 90.
Dr. Sisira Liyanage noted that 41 HIV cases were reported in the second quarter of last year, while the number of patients reported in the same period this year is 46. Dr. Liyanage said that 96% of the cases can be attributed to unprotected sexual intercourse. 1,739 HIV cases have been reported in the island so far, while 229 people have died of AIDS.
Leader of the National Freedom Front, let's move on to another story. Leader of the National Freedom Front, Minister Vimal Veerawansa, says that candidates who can strengthen the battle to overcome challenges that are before the country should be elected through elections. He made this statement at a meeting held in Kandy today.
The annual general meeting of the National Freedom Front branch in Kandy was held yesterday. There are several enemy forces that the country needs to be liberated from, similar to how the country was liberated from terrorism. If we are to fulfill our responsibilities and duties towards our children, then people who are suitable for it should be elected to provincial councils. It is a national duty. One should not think about oneself. That is why we reiterate that this is your fight and it is in your hands.
The Special Operation Unit of the Colombo Excise Department took into custody 1.5 million rupees worth of alcohol that was sold illegally in a raid that was conducted in the Talahena area in Koswata. The raid was conducted based on a tip-off received by the Special Operations Unit of the Colombo Excise Department. An official from the Bureau said that 200 bottles of alcohol were found in their possession. 2 suspects will be produced before the Magistrates Court today. He further noted that the alcohol was sold to consumers for events at a low price. The University Grants Commission has decided to repatriate the university lecturers residing abroad back to the island. The University Grants Commission, Professor Shanika Hiremburagama, said that during the past 30 years, many lecturers have left overseas, although a contract was signed with them. The chairman of the University Grants Commission said that although a contract has been signed with these lecturers, a majority of them have not returned to the island.
We have arrived at a decision to bring down the university lecturers that are residing abroad after providing a compensation. They may not arrive to the island for good, but even for a short time, we would like to have them teaching in the universities. We are especially looking into allocating these lecturers into the eastern universities since there is a reduction in the number of university lecturers.
A doe roaming in the Polonnaruwa Reserve was a victim of a motor accident this morning. The doe, which was part of a herd of deers, had died opposite the Polonnaruwa Archaeology Office. The doe, who had been drinking water at the Parakrama Samudra, was run over by a vehicle. Wildlife officers say the doe was pregnant at the time of death. Amateur video from Syria released yesterday purports to show a suicide attack at the airport near Aleppo.
Amateur video from Syria released Monday purports to show a suicide attack at the airport near Aleppo. Reuters can't verify the images, but the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said a man blew himself up at the airport entrance and that violent clashes between rebels and government troops followed. Rebels have continued their assault against this strategically important government airbase. It's been used to launch strikes on rebels in Syria's embattled second city. In the capital, Damascus, but it could have been a world away, President Bashar al-Assad broke a Ramadan fast with the country's dignitaries, businessmen, clergy, and members of the arts community. He told his audience he can end the war in months.
If we succeeded in this popular war and there were a wider contribution in other areas, I would like to say that the solution will be in a matter of months. Syria will be able to end its crisis and beat terrorism.
But real hopes of peace talks appear dim. Assad has been defiant throughout the more than 2-year-long conflict, and UN diplomats say a peace conference is increasingly becoming unlikely.
Intercepted conversations between two senior Al-Qaeda members reportedly prompted Sunday's closure of many American diplomatic missions. The talk, involving top leader Ayman al-Zawahiri, represented one of the most serious plots since the 9/11 attacks. The US earlier said the closures in North Africa and the Middle East were out of abundance of caution.
We have taken the action we've taken out of an abundance of caution. And we have issued the warnings that we've issued in order to make sure that the American people are aware of the potential threat that has always been with us, but which is heightened at this time. And we will provide more information as we can, mindful of the need to,
Local media in the Philippines reported yesterday that a powerful blast in southern Philippines killed at least 6 people and injured 28 others, as footage showed burnt bodies strewn across the scene of the explosion.
The scene in the southern Philippines after a powerful blast tore through Cotabato City. The explosion left 6 people dead and 28 injured. The blast, which shattered glass and set fire to nearby buildings, could be heard from miles away. Police Director Roland Balquin says they are searching for a motive.
It might be considered as a personal attack, no, sa ating city administrator, na hindi lang natin ma-establish what is really the reason. Maari din, it might be also there are some other targets.
The bombing came just moments after the United States issued a global security warning that Al-Qaeda was planning a terrorist attack. It's the second blast to hit the predominantly Muslim area in the past 2 months.
In football news, Cristiano Ronaldo spiced up the forthcoming friendly between Real Madrid and Chelsea when he took a swipe at his former boss Jose Mourinho, who moved from the Bernabeu to Stamford Bridge.
With the African Championships now postponed from September to an undecided date, the Algerian boxing team have decided to continue their preparation program. Algeria topped the medal table ahead of Italy, Turkey and France with 5 golds and 1 bronze. Mohamed Flissi was one of the stars of the team who took gold in the 49 kg category. Light heavyweight Ben Chida, who won the 81 kilograms at the World Series of Boxing title in 2011, added Mediterranean gold is his impressive amateur career.
We apologize for that technical difficulty, but now moving on to some tennis news. Germany's Florian Mayer defied his journeyman status to send Australian young gun Bernard Tomic tumbling in the first round of the Rogers Cup.
Mayer, ranked 50 in the world, came from a set down to win 5-7, 6-3, 6-3 as the year's 6th Master Series event began under blue skies under warm conditions. Tomic, who had endured an inconsistent few months since the ATP imposed a tour-wide ban on his father and coach John for allegedly assaulting Bernard's practice partner in May, made a bright start with solid serving and accurate ground strokes. The 29-year-old German needed just 1 break of service to draw a level before repeating the first feat in the decider as he closed out victory in an hour and 37 minutes. Mayer will face the top seed and defending champion Novak Djokovic in the second round.
And that wraps up our lunchtime news broadcast. Be sure to stay with us to our afternoon 55s. I'm Madhushka Balasuriya. Have a very good day.